Welcome to my vlog.
Oh yeah, welcome to Shadow Palms Vlog. It's a party up in here. Party all day, party all night. Come on, join the fun. Subscribe. Show 'em what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Do we know him? He looks familiar. Yes, I know it's been a while, but here I am, back with another vlog. Now, today I think I'm going to do a little tutorial on something that's, well, let's just face it, we're getting to the time of year where things are going to get a little bloody. So what better than a tutorial on how to make your own blood? Now, not just any blood. We're talking some nasty, thick, realistic looking blood. No, it's not the corn syrup recipe that everybody already knows. This is another recipe that probably everybody already knows. Well, I modified it slightly, but not too much. But hopefully you'll find it useful, and it's very realistic looking. Oh wait, some people were asking me about, has absolutely nothing to do with the tutorial, but some people were asking me about my 6.5 foot tall samurai warrior that I made for my son's birthday party that I'm going to keep around for Halloween. Here he is. So he's made out of PVC, and he's got a little skull face in there. So anyway, for those of you who asked to see him, there he is. No, there's something I was forgetting. What was it? Oh yeah, the tutorial. Okay, now this recipe doesn't use corn syrup. Nothing against corn syrup, and it's great if you're, especially if you're doing some blood around your mouth or something. But the blood that I'm using is not going to be for that purpose, so I don't have to worry about it being non-toxic. The thing with corn syrup is it's kind of sticky and sugary and can attract bugs and other things. So I wanted something that doesn't attract, it doesn't attract anything really. You know, sort of like me. So this recipe, if you call it that, you may have seen something very similar to it out there. I found a lot of different people who had similar recipes to this, almost identical, but they all seem to use water pump lubricant in their recipe. I didn't want to use lubricant in my recipe for some very good reasons. Number one, it's a lot more toxic than the other things I use in the recipe. Number two, I didn't want the texture. It would really make it a lot more flowing, and I wanted it to be a real thick texture, and that's only because of what I'm using it for. You might want to add it, that's fine. Know that you can. And the most important reason, this is really the only reason, is that I'm incredibly lazy and didn't want to drive out to the auto parts store to get it. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Walter's an idiot. He didn't think about the backlight. So he's standing in the shadows most of the time because he's standing in front of a freaking window. Well, actually, I planned that. See, in my artistic vision, I wanted to give the feeling of impending doom and darkness. Yeah, no, I'm just an idiot and stood in front of a bright window. Sorry. And it really didn't seem to serve any purpose. Now, the blood that I'm making, I wanted it to be very realistic looking. I wanted it to be a little thicker than normal blood because of the reasons what I'm using it for. And I wanted it to not decay over time. So it's going to be in a sealed container, a vial actually. And I didn't want it to break down, and I didn't want it to grow mold or mildew on it, which is a major problem if you do something with corn syrup. So let me show you what you're going to need. Okay, you're going to need some red food coloring. I would get the large size, because if you get these little guys, you're going to need a lot of these. So I got the big guy. It's 1 fluid ounce, not that big, but bigger than the other little ones. The other thing you're going to need is some styling gel. Hair styling gel. This is extra strength. You want it to be nice and thick. Yeah, I got some strange looks buying that. Next, some hand sanitizer. Some sort of bowl or Tupperware. Now I use this because I wanted something that I'd be able to seal up afterwards to keep it in. And a spoon for mixing, or whatever you prefer to mix with. I can't use my hands today. And I got this assorted color because I needed a little bit of blue. So just a tiny bit of blue. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so that's pretty much what you're going to need. That and, of course, a phone with 911 pre-programmed into it when your wife or husband or significant other finds out you've destroyed yet another thing of Tupperware. Yeah, this time of year I get in a lot of trouble for stuff like that. Okay, now the hair gel that I used had a little bit of a bluish tint to it, which I liked. I was actually hoping that would be enough blue, but it turned out I had to add a little more blue. Now I know what you're saying. Walter, what the hell are you going to use blue for? Well, believe it or not, and if you've tried making blood before, you've probably already discovered this. If you use just red food coloring, it really doesn't come out very lifelike. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now I'm going to show you a couple test vials I made yesterday of blood, but I don't know if the color is really going to come out in the video, but just take my word for it. It's a little too red. Let me show you here. First one we've got here, and it looks good at first glance, and you know, I really like it's nice and thick. It sticks to the sides a little bit, but then it runs down. It's got, if it was a wine, we'd say it had nice legs, but it looks very believable until you get it in bright light. And I don't know if you can see here, but if you see, it's sort of a little too reddish, a little too light. It doesn't have that realistic blood look to it. It does have the right texture, the right movement, but it's just not real believable in the color department. So, if you add just a tiny bit, I mean a tiny bit, in this entire thing, I'll show you what I made here. Here's the blood that I made. And it looks, well, if I hold it up to the light, you don't really see much. I'll show you how it works a little bit later. But in this whole thing, I put exactly 3 drops of blue. Just a little bit of blue goes a long way. Now, the blue is mixed with red and gives it a little more of a realistic look. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the blood, and as you see, it's nice and thick, which is the way I wanted it. And I don't know if you can see it as well. It probably looks black on the video. Let me show you through the light. Maybe you can see a little better. It's a nice, realistic blood red. Really looks a lot more, I don't think the videos, I'm looking through the video and it doesn't really seem to be doing it justice, but it looks a lot more believable, a lot more like blood. You're just going to have to take my word for that, I guess. So now let's get down to it. First thing is, took the hair gel, and I poured a whole bunch of hair gel in there, pretty much as you want blood. Out of this is 12 ounces, and I took it down to about there. So I would say I used probably about 9 ounces of it. Really, it's just as much, depends on how much blood you're making. But the majority of the blood is the hair gel. Then the hand sanitizer I mixed in, and that is a full thing of hand sanitizer only went to there. This is 15 ounces. So I probably put in an ounce of, if that, of hand sanitizer. You don't need that much. The only reason I put it in there is just to make sure nothing grows. Then the red food coloring, which gives us the color. The red food coloring, this is 1 fluid ounce. I used about half of it. But again, you're going to pour it in and just and stir it in. Make sure you stir it real good. A little less than half of it I used, right to about there. To get the color you want, the consistency you want, mix it in. Remember, as you mix in the food coloring, it's going to, the consistency isn't going to be as thick of the hair gel, and it's going to get softer and softer and mellower. Then after that, after you get that the way you want it, then you're going to take the blue, and seriously, I used 3 drops for this amount of blood. You can use a little less if you want. Just like 3 drops of blue, and that gives it that darker, more realistic blood look. So basically, the recipe, when it boils down, is basically just hair gel, thick hair gel, and red food coloring, a couple drops of blue, and a little bit of hand sanitizer just to keep things healthy. Wow, that recipe is so complicated. Let me go grab a pencil. I mean, seriously, why'd I even do a vlog on it? I mean, really, it's just hair gel and dye. Man, that was lame. Well, anyway, it's not the most complex recipe in the world, but it does a pretty good job here. I'm pretty happy with it. Has a nice look to it. Looks very realistic, even though it probably doesn't look that way on the film. In real life, it actually looks really realistic, real nice. Has the thickness that I want. It's pretty much thick like blood, about the same thickness as blood without adding anything. If you want it a little thinner, then you can go ahead and add the water pump lubricant that other people have in their recipes. Like I said, I'm far too lazy to go out and buy some, and I wanted a thicker consistency anyway. Actually, I might even thicken this up a little bit because I really wanted a real thick consistency. So anyway, that's it. Not a whole lot to it. Pretty simple. Oh, by the way, in case I didn't mention this before, don't, go vampire on me and drink this stuff. It's, first of all, I'm pretty sure it tastes really disgusting. Second of all, it's probably going to make you sick as a dog. I'm guessing it's probably not healthy to drink that stuff. But, so, just in case I forgot to mention. I know you're probably saying, what the hell did I waste my time watching this for? Stuff you could have figured out yourself. But, anyway, here you go. Just showing you. So, have fun. Let me know how it works out. And I think I'm going to do another vlog soon on making zombie flesh. Now, why would you want zombie flesh? Well, I'll show you. But that'll be later. Thank you very much, and have a good one. Bye-bye.
Later, dude. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe.